3.5% versus last financial year on YTD basis. Our coal station registered a PLF of 76.4% and maintained a positive difference of 6% as compared to the national PLF of the coal stations. We have achieved 200 billion units generation mark in 169 days, which is the fastest ever achievement in our history. Similarly, Rihan, Vindhyachal, Korba, Sipat, Kaati, Nabinagar and Lara stations have figured in the top performing stations in the country in terms of the PLF. Our new pithead stations, Darlipalli and North Kanpura, should strive to secure the top position in the national ranking by improving their operational performance in the coming days. Achieving renewable capacity addition of 518 megawatt and our installed capacity reached to 76,476 megawatt. Incidentally, no new thermal capacity has been added to date, but very soon in this financial year we should be adding the 3 new units. We must achieve the 5 gigawatt capacity addition in the current fiscal, which is going to be 3 gigawatt renewables and 2 gigawatt thermal capacity. Supporting the country's thermal capacity addition program of 80 gigawatt, NTPC has awarded contracts for 4,000 megawatt, consisting of Singrauli 3, Lara 2, Sipat 3. Additionally, day before yesterday, LNTP has been issued for 4,800 megawatt. NTPC is now going to be over a 100 gigawatt company with more than 76 gigawatt under operation and over 28 gigawatt under construction. NGEL, NTPC Green Energy Limited, has filed updated red herring prospectus, which is called URHP, yesterday late in the evening, and within next 10 days we will have our IPO for the NGEL to raise 10,000 crore. Let me share here, probably we are going to be the first PSU apart from the SBI, the banking sector, to list any of its subsidiaries. In the past year, Honorable Prime Minister has laid the foundation stone for 8 projects and dedicated 8 projects of NTPC to the We have achieved a capex of 22,278 crore till date, which is almost 80% of the target, and I believe that this is the fastest capex target achieved in our history. We have registered a growth of 22% in the coal production from our captive coal mines. Captive mines have supplied 15% of the total coal for NTPC stations in first half of the year. The coal mining team should achieve the target which has been set of 45 million ton production for the current financial year. The another point is that they should focus on the evacuation along with the production. Chatti-Bariatu mine has declared commercial operation on 1st of April 2024. Dulanga and Telepalli coal mines have received a star rating award under open cast mines category by the Ministry of Coal. Ashwini, a joint venture of NPCIL and NTPC, has received approval from Government of India to build, own and operate nuclear power plant in India in accordance with the provisions of the Atomic Energy Act. This looks to be a small step, but this is a step for a very long, big journey and a potential for a growth which will be remembered for years and centuries. GOI has also approved the transfer of Mahi Banswara Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, which is 4 into 700 megawatt based on the indigenous PHWR technology from NPCIL to this joint venture called Ashwani. The foundation stone of the project is expected to be laid soon. We have already deputed our team there. Additional steps have been taken to incorporate a separate subsidiary company for undertaking nuclear energy business. Our market capitalization crossed 4 trillion, that means 4 lakh crore for the first time on 30th July 24. NTPC is the largest market capitalized non-banking PSU. When I am saying non-banking, this is SBI and LIC are only ahead of us, not the any other public sector. 3 of our establishments, Kudgi, Netra and RGPPL, have received net zero certification from IGBC, with Kudgi and Netra certified for energy and RGPPL for water. NTPC has climbed up 61 places to be ranked 372 in the latest Forbes Global 2000 list and ranked 10th among Indian companies. NTPC has also been included in the Time World's Best Companies of 2024 list. I would request that our efforts should continue to come first in the top 100 and then come in the top 10. NTPC has received the prestigious ATD Best Award for the year 2024 for the 7th time in the last 8 years. This year we ranked 3rd position, which is the best performance so far. We have also received the Brandon Hall Group Excellence Award 2024 in the 6 different categories. NTPC figured in the Forbes World's Best Employer 2024 list, the only Maharatna CPSCs to figure in the list. USSC received the Best Case Study Award at a Global Procurement Summit 2024 organized by IMA with the World Bank and Ministry of Finance. I recall there had been some concerns when we started this shared service concept, but I am happy that today everybody is well accepting this and thinking about the next phase of improvement. And last time, Director Operation was discussing with me that whether we should get away from the CPG 1, 2, 3, etc. and try to converge into a centralized system on that platform. So I would always encourage, as I had been telling time and again, there is no boundaries for the innovation has been innovating itself and going beyond the horizons what it has tested earlier. So there is what continuously my expectations and request and ask to each and every one of you is that we must strive for the improvement every day. Coming to safety, from the day I joined 2016, I have been insisting on keeping the safety compliance on top of all our activities. We have taken several steps including awareness training for the employees, which includes the behavioral based training also at all levels, starting from executive director to the contractual workers. But one thing which really concerns me is that we have not reached to the world-class standard as far as the safety is concerned. So I would expect each and everyone, and specifically those who are at site, whether it is a project or whether it is stations, must keep that at the top of their agenda, not only for discussing, but for enacting and continuously inhibiting that behavior. We have to reach to the zero incidents. Safety is not just a priority, it is our core value that must guide all actions, decisions and interactions. I expect every team member to adhere strictly to the protocols, proactively identify and address potential hazards, and maintain open communication as a role in promoting safe work environment, which we say in letter and spirit. On the operational front, with country's growing power demand, coupled with the limited thermal capacity addition, the dispatch from all the power stations in the country expected to increase in the coming years. As we will all will be knowing that the thermal PLF had fallen below 60% at one point of time in the country. With the increased economic activities and the growth in the country, with the increase in the power demand, we have not only regained, but we are finding it quite tight to meet the peak requirement. And in going future, there will be further requirements. So we all have to be careful that we complete our projection time and operate our plants efficiently. This is also evident that consumption pattern of the youngsters, especially Gen G or Gen Z, what we call, and Gen Alpha are also rising sharply, emphasizing the need for high availability of all power systems. What I am emphasizing that the power demand will go on increasing because we are consuming more and more energy. Let me share here that I just checked some of the figures for Diwali Day, which is a common day for all of us. I am told that there was an increase in the minimum load was around 26 gigawatt in the country, and in the peak was approximately 12 to 13 gigawatt, which is a clear indication that the power demand is increasing at a quite sharp pace. We have registered its relatively less progress in the consumption in the last quarter because of the widespread rain across the country, which was the best thing to happen for the country in fact. But we should not be taken away by that fact that it's not going to be increasing at the same pace. My own assessment is that after a good monsoon, always there is a good economic activities which will be directly requiring the higher power consumption. Under the foregoing circumstances, our power stations are expected to play a crucial role in meeting the nation's energy needs. Accordingly, it is essential to maintain the maximum availability of our all power stations. This requires meticulous planning for the scheduled outages, timely execution with the highest standard of quality, and maintaining an optimal inventory of spare parts to ensure smooth, uninterrupted operations. We must strive for the maximum operational efficiency while reducing marginal costs. Additionally, we must incorporate all the latest regulatory standards seamlessly in our operational practices and comply with them without any deviation. Many of our railfed stations are encountering technical minimum issues. With our persistent follow-up with the appropriate authorities, we had been able to address this issue to some extent, but we will have to take some other actions to make sure that we comply with the technical minimum and we are not required to put our machines into precarious situation. I urge each station along with the operation services to coordinate with the respective load dispatch centers to get technical minimum schedules. Additionally, enhancing our ECR optimization efforts will strengthen our standing in the merit order position, contributing to the overall efficiency and the competitiveness. Forced outages and boiler tube leakages are the cause of concern, and efforts should be made to control them. System adherence and the accountability are the key to achieving it. I have been emphasizing the deployment of the artificial intelligence and machine learning tools in our operational maintenance practices and inventory management. Major power utilities worldwide are increasingly leveraging these technologies to enhance reliability and efficiency. One of the key applications of the AI and ML is predictive maintenance, which helps extend asset lifespans, optimize repair schedules, and reduce operational costs. Further, we need to upgrade our systems wherever necessary to comply with the latest cyber security protocols. As you know, the costs involved in the unit outages are substantial and it eats away our bottom line. So I urge OS and engineering to prioritize the deployment of these tools. Additionally, fine-tuning of the boilers and conducting metallurgical studies, especially for the supercritical and ultra-supercritical boilers in the collaboration with NETRA and other premier laboratories will be helpful and very essential. We have already established dedicated overhauling groups for the supercritical units and a specialized turbine overhauling group for the VSR region. And these initiatives have shown good results. The team has successfully resolved the long-standing issues at the CPAT 1 and addressed the Toshiba Hitachi turbines issues at Darlipalli, Udupi and Nara. Similarly, a dedicated team should be formed for the asset management of the balance of the plant system, especially the coal unloading and coal handling. We must also leverage data analytics to enable smarter data-driven decision making. This approach cost savings, optimizes resources use, and reduces the environmental impact of our operations, positioning us as a forward-thinking and resilient organization. I keep telling HOPs are like CEOs of their location. I would expect and encourage all of them to make themselves as enable and enable them through the training or the other interventions to take not only the operating activities, but also they should keep in mind all other related activities like what at the corporate level what we are taking. Whether it is a stakeholder management or whether it is a commercial issues or whether it is a forecasting issues, those things are necessary. On the renewable side, we are proud to be the first company to list its subsidiary, as I just mentioned 2 minutes back, in the CPSEs other than banking sector. This also brings the added responsibility of consistently meeting investors' expectations. With its listing, company's performance will be under scrutiny by the investors, making quarterly improvements essentially. During our recent roadshows, we committed ambitious growth targets, adding 3 gigawatt in this financial year, 5 gigawatt in next financial year, and 8 gigawatt in the next financial years, FY 27. And this is based on the inputs what has been given by the NGEL. There is no room for the deviation from these targets, and we must take every step to ensure that these are met rather than exceeded. With a fall in the storage prices, energy storage prices, especially the battery, the entire energy spectrum may change at a pace that we have never witnessed in the past. Indirectly, it may also help our technical minimum problem. We need to prepare ourselves to tap this opportunity and need to be nimble, innovative, and adaptive on a continuous basis. We need to create a separate vertical in the NGL for dealing with the all storage related solutions. The renewable market is evolving continuously and there is an immediate need for working more progressive. We need to devise multiple and dynamic business models for tapping the markets. At the same time, our position as a public sector entity also offers a huge opportunity in terms of tying up with the state governments to secure the land banks and collaborating with the other prominent CPSUs to meet the captive power requirements. We should not leave any stone unturned in making these initiatives successful. To reach 60 gigawatt from the current 4 gigawatt capacity, apart from the 11 gigawatt projects that are under construction, we need to secure all the inputs at the fastest pace. Our collaboration with the state governments like Rajasthan and Maharashtra is going to help in this regard. To accelerate the capacity addition, we need to create the 5 strong verticals under NGEL. And this is not something only limited to 5. If it is required, it can be something in addition. And I just name some of these: project execution, securing land parcels, creating balance of systems with associated transmission lines, and procurement and business development. These should be the punch mantra for our renewable businesses, and all these verticals should work on the internal targets for themselves. We need to leverage our experience and ability to raise finances at very competitive rate, which we are doing, but we have to continue on this and we have to start taking the advantage of the renewable sector, which is going to give us the advantage, as was being mentioned by Director of Finance during various our road shows, that how the NGEL is helping the NTPC to raise cost effectively these finances. We must ensure adequate returns from our projects so that we can invest more and more for the further capacity addition. Executing the projects as per the timeline must be given the highest importance, as this is the essential to get the required returns as initiated during the bidding. Whenever there is a shortfall in the performance of the vendors, required contractual action need to be taken immediately rather than waiting for the last minute. In the green hydrogen space, the foundation stone for the Pudimadaka Green Hydrogen Hub at Visakhapatnam is expected to be laid in the current year. We are also working with the government to declare the proposed hub as a part of the National Green Hydrogen Hub. We need to work quickly on this project. We have joined hands with the Indian Army to provide round-the-clock green power solution. We have also made significant progress in the hydrogen mobility segment. Our fueling station at Leh has been completed and is the highest station in the world at an altitude of 11,800 feet above main sea level. That too with an in-situ solar plant for production, compression, storage and dispensation of the green hydrogen. We are carrying out various innovative R&D and demonstration projects at Nedra, especially in the green hydrogen space. This includes green hydrogen generation from STP water, sewage treatment plant, seawater and plasma gasification of agri waste. Worldwide, a lot of work is going on in the green molecule space. We are one of the very few organizations in the world that have reached the commissioning stage of its pilot project, which I just enumerated just 2 minutes back. This vertical is going to be attracting the traction of various segments of the society very soon. Till then, we need to continue our efforts and study the developments happening across the globe and try to be at the head of the curve in comparison to the other organizations. I just mentioned about the nuclear. With advancement in the safety and waste management, nuclear is becoming increasingly recognized as a critical component of the sustainable energy strategies worldwide. In our opinion, nuclear is going to take a major role in the next 2 to 3 decades. Considering its importance, we have prepared firm roadmap for adding nuclear capacity to our portfolio. Apart from Mahibaswara project, we are taking up with the various state governments for allocation of land for executing the nuclear projects. These projects will be executed under the new nuclear subsidiary. Additionally, we are working jointly with the BARC and NPCIL for development and adoption of the Bharat small reactors and the small modular reactors. We have already formed a dedicated team for the nuclear and will hire the talent from the best available pool as per the requirement. I urge the nuclear team to collaborate with BARC and NPCIL to improve the capabilities. Project management is one of the most concerning area in the organization, be it thermal or the renewable. Many times investors have also expressed concerns regarding our project execution capability. Although we are recognized as one of the best among the government setup to execute the projects whichever we have taken, but timely execution of the project is the concern of the investors, and this has been a continuous work. We must find ways to take this, to resolve the issues and help to complete the projects in time. There is an immediate need to relook at present practices and take the corrective action. We must anticipate the problems and take proactive action to address the issues even before they arise. Similarly, it is the responsibility of the engineer in charge to settle contractual issues before they become dispute. Timely action helps avoid time and cost overruns and ensure project delivery. Therefore, yesterday in the board meeting, we had discussed the similar one, that how we can further delegate the powers to the HOPs to resolve the issues rather than pushing the files upward. Our strong balance sheet supports the project closure even without definite off-take arrangement. It does not mean that we start the projects and continue with moving targets continuously. We need commitment to innovation and continuous improvement within the team to optimize the project outcomes. Executing projects effectively and efficiently will be strengthen the company's reputation, for which decision making is the key. And we must promote the people who are ready to take the right decisions. The steep decrease in the battery prices, as I mentioned some time back, is expected to offer the challenge to the all conventional power sources, including coal, wind, and pumped storage projects (PSPs). Recent price discovery indicates that a power tariff to the tune of ₹6 per kilowatt hour is achievable with the solar and storage. This necessitates the requirement of relooking at our project design philosophy. Recently, discovery of the high prices in the new projects will face dispatch problems in the future if they are not executed as per the schedule. The engineering department to continuously work on reducing their interventions in the overall process through the simplification and improving workflows. We need to complete the ongoing implementation of the FDDs and address all issues associated with these contracts. Similarly, a separate strategy needs to be worked out for executing the PSP and nuclear projects. Based on the discussion, it comes out that still there are delays in clearing drawings, giving clearances for the customer hold points, like inspection and other checks. We need to address these issues to improve efficiency and expedite the project timelines. I keep getting the feedback from the various sources, including the government, which has been the biggest port to us